Today, it's P. That means a special physical fitness. So, Austin sir, we have with Austin sir, we have a fitness expert, Rajiv Mehra sir. Rajiv sir spent 3 months with the team of 1983, especially Ranveer Singh, getting them fit to act as Kapil Dev, other legends. So we welcome Rajiv sir and Austin sir for this wonderful session of physical fitness. So we are looking forward to the insights on fitness for sport. Forward to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Hina ma'am. Good morning, Rajiv. Good
Good
morning, all
morning,
my
sir.
friends. Yeah, good morning, all my friends. Uh, Today we are going to have a session on physical fitness, which is the P of open sesame. If you see O P E N, P comes second, but we did effort first, so that after that we could do physical fitness. Now today we are going to talk to Rajiv Mehra. Rajiv was a trainee of mine long back, and now he is one of the masters of fitness for sports. So I welcome him to this session. Welcome, Rajiv.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So let's do a small session for these young kids who are into sports. And
Yes.
what I want to know is how was your lockdown? How have you been spending your time with the lockdown?
Sir, it's been a change to say the least because being used to going outdoors for doing various activities, going to the gym, going for training sessions, and
Yeah.
having other assignments was a very normal thing to do before the lockdown. And
Hmm.
with the lockdown, you are confined to your houses. You cannot go outside. So, to say the least, it has been a major change in the way your days are spent.
Yeah.
So, it was a phase where I especially tried to I especially tried to make it a point where we adapt to the current situation.
Hmm.
Adaptation involved making the best of the time that we have on our hands and making the best of the avenues that we have. So,
Okay.
purely from the fitness point of view, a lot of things changed in terms of the way we tried to keep ourselves fit
Hmm.
and using innovative methods which were not used earlier in
Okay.
our physical fitness routine. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. So see, you have been when you were a kid, you were quite chubby, and
Yeah.
you were overweight. I remember that.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes, sir.
your personal success in fitness has been from fat to fit. Okay, today
Yeah.
you are as fit as anybody. So can you tell us in a few words how you
Yeah.
got from fat to fit?
Yeah, sir. A fact to fit is I don't see myself really fit also at this point. But yeah, definitely I was fat at some point. You have seen me at my worst, which was in my
At
early
your best, I
teenage.
think. Yeah, at your best.
Yes. So that was in my early teenage where I was amongst so we used to train in groups, as you know, sir.
Yeah.
Used to always practice in groups, used to train in groups, and I used to be amongst the last in terms of physical fitness, and that used to hurt me quite a bit, and I was very disappointed in myself at that time, and I always thought there was scope of improvement. So
Hmm.
when you say my journey from fat to fit, it is mostly been because of the fact that I have played a sport. I have played cricket for most of my life up to
Hmm.
now, and
Hmm.
the only reason why I was motivated to have that change or become fitter or move better was only because I was playing a sport and I wanted to do better in my sport. So
Yeah.
the love for the sport was the main catalyst in motivating me and finding ways for myself of how I can get better at the sport. So becoming fit was one of those things that I thought were very important to be at the sport that I'm playing. So yeah, so playing cricket was the main thing. Of course, encouragement from my peers and
Mm.
seeing short-term goals, achieving short-term goals.
Yeah.
All of that were step-by-step, catalysts for me to get onto this journey of becoming from fat to getting fitter.
Yeah. And see, what I used to notice about you when you were a kid, basically 12, 13 years old, was that
Yeah.
you were always charged up. You always
Yes.
wanted to do better than most. So
Yes.
I remember the time when I used to tell you to take some rest because others were fitter, you were not fit, and you used to fight to compete with them. So that
Yes.
spirit was always there. And
Yes, sir.
then you later went on to play for Mumbai under 19, I think under 19 or 22. You
22,
played
sir. 22.
22. You played Mumbai under
Yes.
22. You played A division cricket. You scored so many hundreds. So
Yes, sir.
that was a success. That was a success that you achieved on your own, on your fitness. So
Correct.
that is a trajectory that most of our youngsters have to take now. They have to learn this.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
get into fitness, get better, get into your game, and achieve your goals. So what I
Correct.
was asking you was, these days there are a lot of kids who are overweight. Okay,
Right.
naturally, there's a lot of care being taken. Parents are giving them better food. They're more on videos, playing less. So, what would you advise such kids who are a little overweight to get fit? What is the way of getting fitter now?
Yeah. So, sir, that is a very major problem with not only very small kids, but kids in their teenage as well, actually, right
Teenage.
from the age group of 6, 7, where the kids start losing their natural mobility. As
Yeah,
very small children, as infants, the children are, they move much better because
yeah,
naturally they are designed to move. But
hmm,
as kids grow older, they tend to lose out on their movements, they tend to lose out on the mobility, and the only reason for that is that not enough use of movement and
yeah,
sedentary lifestyle. And like you rightly said, it is sedentary lifestyle has become a part of everybody's life because of easier access to a lot of things. Information is available easily, food is available easily, and you don't have to work for a lot of things. So that is why easy lifestyle has become one of the major causes for kids becoming overweight. So now how
hmm,
do you change that? In my personal belief, especially for kids, this is just my personal belief that the more the kids are into playing, free play, I'm not talking about taking up any particular sport as a career. I'm just
any
saying
game.
about free play. Yeah, just
Hmm,
play. And it could be unstructured. You don't need
hmm,
to have any set rules for playing. You don't need to have timings for playing. It is just free play.
hmm,
We remember in a group of 3 or 4 kids, we used to just play chore police. Chore
hmm,
police is, there is no skill involved in chore police. But
yeah,
what you used to do is you used to run long distances to get away from, the person who is trying to find you. Just a
police.
very, very simple example. So, and
Yeah,
you used to use your mental skills also. How can you stay away? How decision making used to come into play. When is the right time to go and get the dinner out? When is the right
hmm,
time to stay in and just hide? When is the right time to run further away? So these things are very important and they are developed through free play,
yeah,
unstructured play.
hmm,
So unstructured play is definitely one thing that I would recommend all the kids to do. Secondly, the parents' role in this is also very important.
hmm,
Encouraging the children by setting the example correct. Okay, because children are at home looking at their parents and learning from parents. So it is
hmm,
very important that parents themselves start having a healthier lifestyle. You
yeah,
know, um, if I see my mom and dad going out for a walk every day, and doing some kind of physical activity at home all the time. So it motivates me to do it myself as well. I will not feel good that my parents are working in the house and I am sitting. So the point is that all the children see their parents and learn. So giving them household chores, for example, just daily activities to finish in the house will also keep them active. So these are the small things that the children can do. Not only overweight or obese children, but everybody as a practice.
Yeah. So it should be a natural thing, getting involved in all activities. You go out
Yes.
for a walk, you go and play. Like
Yes.
don't waste time watching TV. You have a
Correct.
particular time for your TV shows. But then if you're going to
Correct.
watch TV 10 hours a day, then it's not going to help you, right? They have to be in
Absolutely.
some activity or the other. Now,
Absolutely.
if you're a sportsman, naturally you have to put in a lot of more effort rather than
Correct.
just playing. You will have to
Yeah.
start running. You have to do a lot of other work. Now,
Right.
from the point of view of those boys and girls who want to get into professional sports sometime or the other,
Yeah.
okay. Uh, what I want to find out is how do you start a fitness journey for a person who has the goal of playing for maybe the state or for India, football, cricket, whatever game. How do you start that journey? The boy or girl has not done anything before this. How do you start that
Right.
journey?
Right. So, a lot of that depends on, at what age the child is beginning to play. If the child has fallen in love with the game at a very early age, then
Hmm.
it is a good thing also, and it can backfire also.
Yeah.
But the major thing that I look into for any young child or any young athlete coming in for a particular sport is
Hmm.
whether that child has come for that sport through his own liking or has been sent by his parents. So that is the first thing I
Hmm.
ask. Why did
Yeah.
you join this training club? Or
Hmm.
why do you want to play, for example, tennis? Why do you want to play tennis? Or why do you want to play cricket? So from that first conversation itself, I would know, whether the child is actually in love with the game or it is probably just doing it as a summer activity or
Hmm.
is doing it to get fitter. So these are different reasons why kids join in the game. Now,
Hmm.
when I'm sure that the child is into it in for the long run,
Yeah.
then the training process or the mindset for training that child is completely different from the mindset of training someone who is playing just for leisure.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I know that a particular kid is into a sport and wants to represent the state and wants to represent the country in the long run. So
Hmm.
the approach will be that we start off with a very 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 basic screening approach where
Hmm.
you get the musculoskeletal screening done to get rid of any muscular or joint imbalances
Hmm.
or postural issues because that is the first thing that goes into training. I'm talking
Hmm.
about purely from the sense of physical fitness. I'm not talking about skill work here, only physical fitness. So, what goes into it is that is that particular child ready to do a particular activity? And a lot
Hmm.
of it depends on the posture.
Yeah.
If the posture is a green signal, there are no imbalances, there are no compensations, there is no past injury, there is no tightness, then we start off
Posture,
on a routine.
posture,
Sorry.
just a second. Posture means the way you stand, right? In
Yeah,
simple
posture
words.
means, yeah, in simple language, posture means your spine has to be, because your spine is something that keeps you erect or it keeps you in different positions, whatever you
Hmm.
want to do. So in
Hmm.
order to be optimally in that position, that is when we mean that you have a good posture. It could
Hmm.
mean standing properly, it could mean sitting properly, it could mean bending, it could mean getting into different positions. So
Yeah.
posture is something that is an overall thing which is mostly connected to your spinal column, the vertebrae, and that is where we get to know whether the child is ready to do a particular activity without getting injured. The
Hmm.
main reason is to know that when the posture is correct, the chances of injury is less with any physical activity that the child is going to undergo. So that is the first thing. Secondly, I see what sport the child is playing, whether it is an early specialization sport or it is a late specialization sport. So there are two types of sports. One is an early specialization sports, where the peaking age, the age to play at the top level is early. It could be your late teens or early 20s. So that
Gymnastics.
is an yeah, a game like gymnastics is an early specialization sport. So the approach for an early specialization sport is different to a late than a late specialization sport. So late specialization sports are team sports like football, cricket, and other skill-based sports. Tennis, these kinds of sports. So the approach is very different. So for a late specialization sport, I would focus on the child's motor skills and cross fitness. Cross fitness means that abilities to play different sports basically. Things like jumping are common to many sports. They are common to cricket, they're common to football, they're common to tennis, they're common to all other field sports. So I would focus on the larger aspects rather than the specific aspect in a late specialization sports model. So these are the basic things that I go for before we start off any child on an exercise routine.
So suppose we decide that maybe a 14 or a 15-year-old boy is very talented, looks like he'll play for maybe the state at least. Now, how do I start a strength and endurance training program with it? Because that's the basics, right? You need strength to start off and a basic endurance and flexibility. How do we do that?
Correct. Yeah. So like you said very rightly, sir, that strength endurance, I would say, is the very basic of all fitness aspects. Very basic. And you mentioned a child at the age of 14 and 15. So at that age, the game does become competitive, because at that age the child is playing competitions at a regular level, regular interval. They have probably a season of 8 months or 9 months and an off season of 2 or 3 months, every sport. So at that age, which is 14 plus, we definitely begin by assessing the child's strength, the child's flexibility, the child's speed, agility, and power. Okay, so these things are the main components of any fitness program. But as you said, it also depends on what sport the child is playing. Okay, different sports have different physical demands. A sport like cricket, if I take the example of cricket, it is a highly skill based sport with certain requirements of physical fitness and certain aspects of physical fitness. Okay, so like I said, depends on different sports. So fitness for cricket would mean assessing the child's strength, assessing the child's endurance, because in order to stand on the ground for a full day of fielding, for example, in a day's game, you need to have that kind of cardiovascular endurance and muscle endurance that you don't get tired and your efficiency is maintained throughout the day. You can't get tired after 2 or 3 hours of standing. So endurance also plays a really good part. At the same time, you cannot be slow, because if you're fielding probably in a post lunch session, for example, if you're fielding and you're fielding in the inner circle or in a close-in position and the ball gets hit to you and you have to move really quickly or dive, and you are lethargic at that time, you will not be able to affect a good run out, or you will not be able to save that single. So speed and agility also comes into play. So different aspects of fitness are important in a particular sport with varying levels of importance. For example, in football, speed endurance is much more important than long endurance. An example, and strength, yes. And in the game of tennis, speed endurance with agility is much more important than slow interval training. But in a sport like sport like marathon running, for example, which has also become a very highly liked sport for all age groups now. They don't need a lot of speed work. What they need is muscle endurance and cardiovascular endurance. So like I said, the demands of different sports are different, and we have to take it from there.
Yeah. So see, we deal with strength, endurance, and then move on to speed, agility, and power, basically, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
start with these things, move on to this, and have a whole program for
Correct.
depending on the sport.
Correct.
Depending on the sport, basically, cricket has a different program, football has a different program, different games have different programs, right?
Correct.
Now, how
Correct.
much of importance would you give to balance and coordination? You know, body coordination is a very important thing. How would
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
give importance to balance?
Yeah. In fact, sir, balance and coordination are the pillars of fitness. You know, you cannot train for strength unless you have good balance and coordination. Because the fact is, you know, to understand what is balance and coordination, we need to know what they are, you know, and why do we need to do it. So balance is nothing but being able to stay in an upright position while you're standing, and also while you're moving. So you need to be in control of your body. So that is what we mean by balance. And coordination is, you know, being able to move 2 or 3 different parts of your body at the same given time in a good rhythm and synchronization. So ideally speaking, balance is a part of coordination. You know, so I would like to explain that with the help of an example. So now when I'm talking about coordination, and we relate it to one example in the field of cricket. Okay, so for example, you are fielding at cover point, and the batsman has just played the ball and is trying to look for a quick single. Now, what is happening as a fielder? Okay, what all things are happening as a fielder, you need to realize. One is that you have to run quickly towards the ball. That is one thing. Second, you have to be able to bend down to be able to pick up the ball.
Yeah.
Third is you have to actually pick the ball up with one hand or 2 hands, whichever. So the third is to be able to actually pick the ball up. Fourth is to understand or have the awareness of where the stumps are to be able to hit the direct, to be able to get a direct hit. So the mind is also working, the awareness, general awareness is also working. Next is to actually get into that position of throwing. So you see, there are so many things working at the same time. You're running towards the ball, you're bending to pick up the ball. So in these cases, your lower body is working. Second, when you are actually trying to pick up the ball, your eyesight and your hand are working at the same time. Fourth, when you picked up the ball, you need to have the awareness of where the stumps are, because you won't have a lot of time to pick up the ball, then see where the stumps are, and then aim and then throw. You already need to be aware of where the stumps are. So the point what I'm trying to make is here is that coordination is using different parts of the body at the same time at high intensity. So that is why, and which is a very common thing in any kind of sport. It is a very common thing in any kind of sport. Even for tennis, even for basketball, everything, your body does not work in isolation.
Absolutely.
It does not work in isolation. It works as a full being. So coordination between the hand, between the legs, between the eyesight, between the awareness, general awareness, where is there any tackle coming from behind in case of football? Or, if I have the ball and I have to make a basket in basketball, do I have to be aware of where the basket is? Do I have a tackle coming in from behind? Do I have someone in the defense? So a lot of things are happening simultaneously. So that is why coordination and balance is one of the major things to for any athlete to be able to master in order to become better athletes.
Exactly. So we have certain exercises which can be done on balance and coordination, right?
Yes.
Now,
yes.
what would you advise, though you are not a nutritionist, as a fitness trainer?
Yeah.
What would you advise a young boy, say of 14, 15, 16, to eat after he practices or eat after he plays a match so that he replenishes his, the things that he has lost, the nutrition that he
Correct.
has lost, nutrients that he has lost. What would you
Correct.
advise him to eat after a match, after
Uh,
practice?
yeah, yeah. So yes, sir. So actually, that is out of my practice area, but
Yeah,
general guidelines I can definitely share.
yeah,
So um, so what is important is to understand during that practice session or the training session, what have you worked?
yeah.
Have you done a lot of strength training, or have you done a lot of on ground training? Because
Hmm.
in these two are different, and
Yeah.
different energies systems are required for these kinds of different kinds of training. So in a strength training, if you've done a very heavy strength training session, what you've done is you've utilized your muscular protein sources to you basically worked on your muscles. So
Build up.
the
Yeah.
important thing after a training session of strength session is to replenish the muscles with enough protein.
Good.
And especially, and in case of a match situation where you've not done a lot of muscular work but a lot of cardiovascular work, but a lot of fatigue has happened, in that case you need to supplement your body with energy, and energy is got from carbohydrates.
Done.
So this is the general guideline that you can follow. But of course, what is very important is to meet your daily requirements of protein, carbohydrates, fat. These are the main nutritional factors involved in anybody's growth. Of course, there are supplementary factors also, like calcium, minerals, vitamins, all of that. But these are the three major nutrients, and of course, hydration. We generally tend to overlook hydration and how much water we are drinking after and before our practice and match sessions, because a good hydration goes a long way in helping the body recover and get ready for the next day of the match or your next practice session. So hydration plus having enough sources of fats and proteins, replenishing your body after your training session is very important.
Yeah. And one more thing which is very important after a match or practice session is your stretching, right? Cooling down. What we call as cooling down. It's a very
Yes,
important aspect of
yes, stretching,
recovering for
yes,
the
yes,
next
yes,
session. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah. So as you said, balance of protein and balance of carbohydrates is very necessary to recover from hard exercise and matches. What I would like to know now is something more interesting. How was your session with Ranveer Singh in England? Some anecdotes from there. The
So
kids would like to know.
I don't know whether those are anecdotes, but I was really, I would feel really lucky to have been working with him, and
Huh.
it was not only for 3 months. 3 months was just the shooting period. The
Yeah.
prepping period was for 1.5 years.
Okay.
That we prepped and practiced, and he being an actor, he was not into much of sport.
Yeah.
And to get him to play and get him to believe and get him to move like a sportsman and an athlete was the biggest challenge. But what the best thing came out of all of that is that after we played, the time we came close to the end of the shoot, and all the practice sessions were done, all cricket shoot was done, he was starting to feel like he's an athlete. He started to believe like he's an athlete, and he could not, even after all his cricket shoot was done, he could not give up on coming on the ground and bowling, although he did not require it at that point. So it was addiction for him, and that is the biggest victory for, I feel, that is for myself. And after that also, once we got done with the movie 83, he moved on to his next project, and that is where I was very pleasantly surprised in knowing that he actually asked for me, saying that he wants to continue training with me, but by playing sport. So
Okay.
he was ready to give up his conventional way of training. So he had to lose, basically he had to lose more weight for his next project. So now there are many ways to lose weight. Okay. One way is to do strength training, cardiovascular training, but what he chose was playing a sport
Playing.
in order to lose weight. So that was a great gesture from him, and it was an eye opener for me also, that you prepare yourself to play a sport for the entire life, and then you will never find yourself getting bored or wanting to become fit. You will always be in that zone where you will be fit.
Yeah, you'll be correct. So, to end with this session, uh, I would like you to maybe demonstrate core, core muscle training. This could be, you can maybe in a minute or two explain the importance of a core muscle, and
Yeah.
then maybe show one or two basic exercises that work on the core muscle, if it is possible for
Okay.
you.
Yeah, it's possible. Just that the kids will not get enough input, and there are chances of it getting slightly misunderstood. But what I
Huh.
would like to say is that working on the core muscles is very important, because you cannot work on the extremity. So there are two parts. One is the core, and then there are the extremities. The core is everything other than the extremities. When I say extremities, it's the hands and the legs. Okay, so
Hmm.
working on the core muscles does not mean only working on the abs. It
Hmm.
means that you're working on your structure, strengthening
Yes.
your structure, your spinal column, everything
Hmm.
which is there in the trunk area of the body. So you
Hmm.
have to work on that in order that your extremities are also working well. So that is
Hmm.
one very important thing to do.
Hmm.
Secondly, core training can be anything. You don't necessarily need to do abs, or you don't need to do a plank to work on the core. What you
Hmm.
need to do is just challenge your bodies to get into different positions, which is
Hmm.
unknown to the body.
Hmm.
And the moment you get into an unknown or an unstable zone with your body,
Yeah.
your
Hmm.
core muscles will immediately start to activate and support your body. That is
Yes.
actual core training. That is one. Second is being very specific to your sport. You have to understand the movements that are involved in your sport, and then train your core muscles and train your other muscles also with regards to that sport. So animal positions, getting into different animal positions is very, very good way of working the core. If you
Hmm.
look it up, animal positions, animal flow, this is one very good way of working the core, because we are used to standing and walking, but
Hmm.
different animals stand and walk in different ways. So if we
Hmm.
subject our bodies to get into that position and move, automatically it is something new for our body. And that is where our core muscles realize that they need to do extra work in order to make sure that the body is moving properly. So
In an unusual position. In
try
an
out the
unusual
animal
position.
in an unknown position or an unused position, that the
Correct.
body is not used to before. So
Hmm.
that is where the core muscles are activated more. Second is
Hmm.
to lift heavy.
Hmm.
When you're training at the gym, you lift really heavy,
Hmm.
with a proper, of course, proper form and technique, but you lift heavy so that your core muscles are also involved. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So anyway, they can look up core muscle exercises and basically work out on them. That would be ideal
Yes,
for them.
yes, yes,
So
yes, yes.
yeah. So what I believe is that fitness is a very important part of sport. Without
Yeah,
fitness, you won't be able to give up your best. Secondly, you won't have that longevity in the game. You won't be able to play
absolutely.
for a long time. Yeah, you'll get
Yeah,
injured, you get out of the game, and then coming back into the game is very, very difficult. So it is at
yes,
this time, maybe at the younger ages, that you have to get used to becoming fit and staying fit, and then you'll enjoy your sport more. Like I'll give an
for a longer
example of,
period.
yeah, for a longer period. I'll give an example of what fitness meant to me. Like,
Yeah,
I was a fast bowler, and I used to
yeah,
bowl maybe 6, 7 over spell in the morning, maybe 3, 4
yeah,
overs after lunch, and then in the evening when it was almost draw of stumps, the captain would come and
yeah.
tell